Hello everyone, welcome to the KMT Traders channel. So this is the full market breakdown analysis, volume 5. Again, we're going to look at all of our zones, review them, and see exactly what will happen and what has happened in the market. So again, on the right hand side, we have some yellow pairs that are highlighted. These are the ones that we're not going to cover today. We're going to cover them tomorrow because these are the pairs that we're watching for the next trading week. So we'll give a bit more detailed analysis on that. Again, the link in the description is a Telegram group chat. If you want to go ahead and click that, join that group. It'll give you a bit more information around our trading strategy. And it takes the analysis one step further than just watching our videos, okay? So kicking off the video, we'll start again with all the pound pairs and work our way down. So again, starting with GBP USD. So the current bias for this pair is towards the downside. And as you can see, we're making our structure lows to the downside. So our high here, low, high, low. And if we break above this red zone here, we'll begin to switch our bias. So this range is between 1.251. So if we go above that level, we'll start to look for some buying opportunities. But for the time being, right now, we're still in a short-in bias. So what I want to see happen here is a push to the downside, a pull back into this range, and a push again with a bearish momentum to the downside. Again, I'm not going to go too much detail of exactly what the candles look like, but essentially you're looking for a wick rejection following a bearish momentum candle. So because we're looking for a sell, we want to look for a strong red candle to the downside, okay? But again, we'll have to wait for this to happen, and we'll obviously post all updates, etc. on each video, each pair that we do. So moving on to GBP Swiss franc, the momentum is towards the upside. As you can see, we have broken our uptrend though. So I will be considering and watching out for potential shorts in this pair. Again, I want to see a full break on the 4 hour to the downside, following the pullback. Again, looking for some wick rejection or signs of weakness. And then following that candle, I want to see a bearish momentum to the downside. And then that would give us a good confluence that we are pushing towards the downside. Again, if we are looking to go against this trade and if we're looking to buy, I will be waiting for a price to push above this level here, so 1.214. And once we do that, then we can see that bias, the pair will start to bounce back up and make new highs. So momentum is now pushing up, and this trend line will extend further out wide. So as you can see, if we do break above this level, we will start continuating higher, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Moving on to GBP AUD. Again, a lot of messy work here. I'm actually going to get rid of this line here. As you can see here, we are stuck still in between this huge choppy range. Again, as we spoke about the last few market sessions, we're ultimately just waiting for a push to the downside and a pullback and a retest. So the range that we're paying attention to is 1.96474 to 1.95203. Again, this range has still been remained constant ever since the first volume 1 market analysis, I believe, unless I drew it in later. But again, this has just been the same, and this just gives rise to how powerful the zones are in trading, because respectively this has been bounced off a few times and it's not actually broken through. So hopefully this gives you a bit more interest in the zones and why zone to zone strategies actually are worthwhile learning. So just to recap again, no real move here. Again, we're just waiting for the push to the downside, the pullback, and then the push further. But for now, we're still stuck in this range until we make an actual move to the downside. So moving on to GBP CAD, Canadian dollar. The momentum is pushing up towards the upside. I will be looking for some buys in this pair. Right now we're on the push to the upside, and again we're now in this phase of wick rejection. So as you can see here, If we now find a bullish momentum to the upside, sorry, I couldn't get my words out. If we do find that momentum to the upside, we will have that confidence to, see if we can aim higher and test the current high of 1.77. If we do get that high, we can start making even further highs and target this previous high as well, 1.8. If we do get that high, this range bound will be quite good, 200 to our first TP level, and the second take profit will be 500 odd. So that would be a very good opportunity to get in. But like I said, it really just depends if we can withstand this momentum here. If we do break below, however, we could be looking at a momentum shift as well. So this one is also quite tricky to watch for. So I would highly advise just to wait for a clear direction to find out. Of course, we will update the pair for you. But in terms of aggressive traders, I would stay patient with this one, just purely based on the fact that once we go below this zone and break it, we will be looking at a potential switch in momentum. So again, same here, but reversed over. So push to the downside, the pullback, and bearish momentum to the downside. So just keep an eye out on that zone. And this zone is between 1.75103 to 1.74659. Okay, so moving on to GBP JPY. Again, you see that there is momentum to the downside very vaguely. We can see that we've broken our uptrend. Push is towards the downside, but I'm noticing that we've broken some short-term structure to the upside. So I will be looking to buy in this range if we get a push, full closure, and then if we wait for that pullback and we see that push to the upside, could be looking at some good longing opportunities. And that range is at 134.831 to 134.292. Again, the push is just the entry is just really based on, again, the sentiment of the candle. You want to observe the candles, not just blindly approach this area and just buy anywhere. There's a lot more that goes behind it. So you need to invest in this time and invest in this area and find, why am I looking to buy? You will see this over time and time in, time out, that if you do look in these areas, you can see that a clear pattern that arises within here, and this is what causes my entry to take place. Again, moving on to Euro GBP. So I am looking for a momentum to the upside. That's if we can. We're currently still in a downwards momentum, but if we can start to see a push to the upside and then find a pullback into this range, we could start to see a big reversal as this this trend is slowly fading out with a lot of bias to the downside, and it really just depends upon if we can break above. As you see here, there's a lot of wick rejections. Price movements are very, very small. It's all about understanding price candles as well. So again, in this area we're looking for is zero. Oh, sorry, let me just zoom in. This range that we're looking to buy from, if we can get that push to the upside, is between 0.87570 to 0.87345. So again, the momentum is towards the downside, but if we do find the push to the upside, it would be a very good opportunity to get in. And as well, for those who are looking at patterns, notice that we have a double bottom as well here, so we could potentially see that momentum to the upside. And if you want to look further into what these reversal patterns are, I'd highly suggest just to Google it, or we may produce a video on it for those who want a bit more video clarity of it. So again, gold we're looking to have a separate analysis video for, and also Euro USD. So we'll post those for tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so that you can see that, or you're either in our group chat or follow us on Instagram. At least one of those three, we'll post the updates for you. Again, looking at Aussie dollar to the US dollar, we're looking at a momentum switch We did post a video on this on Friday or Thursday, I do believe, but our momentum is towards the downside. If we can push lower, we could potentially see the momentum switch. So again, we're looking for that closure to the downside, pull back, and then push the downside. Now this is also coming into a good range as well for a switch. This is why we didn't get in on the trade on the Friday, because if we do break above this level again, if we get a big closure to the upside, we will be waiting for the pullback and then again to the push. So again, if you are an aggressive trader, I'd highly recommend you to wait and observe the overall trend. And if we can break above, if we get above this level here, we'll continue to make new highs, 0.6448, and we'll keep pushing up and making higher moves. So again, just following that simple structure of high lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs for an uptrend. Again, same thing really. We're just waiting for price to make its move, and then you follow exactly what it's doing. New Zealand dollar to US dollar, we're looking for the reversal. Again, we brought that breakout to the from the downside. We are looking for this to gradually come back into our reverse zone. We just tapped into it, but we are looking for a bit more of an identification of rejection in this area before we then consider a push to the downside. Once we do find that, we could have a good strong push to the downside in the long run. Again, we'll obviously update everything if something is to change, but we are looking in this area for a possible short. So this is between 0.60715 to 0.660490. Okay, so again, just watching for momentum and price. It's just, hopefully this is picking up for you. All you have to really do is put these zones in, look for the price, and pay attention to see exactly what's happening. Look on the lower time frames or higher time frames if you want to, and take our bias on board. And if the price action assimilates with what we're saying, then take it. You can definitely build your own strategy around this. There's no right or wrong. Trading is all about opinions and your own speculation of the markets. Okay, so Euro USD, again, we're still waiting on a bit more of a clarity of this move. It's been stuck in this range for a long time, since the start of March roughly. Again, we're just waiting for the push to the downside, the pullback again, push in that route. So we're looking at 1.79169 to 1.78625. So just ultimately waiting for price to get in this range, and it will be very interesting to see how price reacts. So USD JPY again, that will be posted for tomorrow's separate video, as we are looking to get in and move into our watch list. So coming on to our last four pairs before we wrap the video up. Again, this pair has been stuck in this range since the start of March. And again, you can see price is just moving sideways, no clear direction. As price is more or less towards the upside, I will just speak on it. So this is 78.799 to 78.213. Again, we're just waiting for that push to the upside and just a clear structure break really, and that's when we can start to get in and consider this point of move. But if you're actually a range bound trader, you can actually trade off these zones and profit from zone to zone until it actually makes a breakout. But in the event of a range bound method, especially on the higher time frame, it does take a lot of news to kind of break out of here. So for a meantime, it could be just looking stagnant until we make a big push. So until then, we're still stuck and we're not looking to trade this at all. Same again with Euro JPY. We're just waiting again for the push to the downside. Again, we're close enough to this range. So this is at 116.44 to 116.084. Again, we're stuck in this range since the start of March. No real move to either side, as you can see. And again, as we spoke about the previous pair, we're looking at the pushes from the upside to the downside, and you can just consolidate upwards and downwards and push from range to range. So again, that's trading style is very specific, and you don't need too much into it. But obviously, it really depends upon your time frame, because ranges do happen a lot. But for a high time frame, there's a lot more that goes into it. So again, it all depends on your own preference and your own style. Moving on to New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. What we are still doing, again, stuck in this range. So notice how most of the Japanese pairs are stuck in a range bound formation. That's because of the fundamentals. There is a lack there's a lack of movement and lack of understanding, especially with the Japanese market and that actual economy in itself. So this is where fundamentals come into play. You don't have to actually be all technical analysis, but if you combine the fundamentals, which is the news, the media, what they portray, combine it with the technicals, you can actually understand why the market's moving sideways and why is the market trending or why is it down falling. So it really does help to understand both sides of the argument. But personally, I'm more of a technical trader, and then fundamentals come second. So I play it like that. And in terms of my entry, my sentimental is actually price action. Looking what the data shows me, that's what I use to enter. So that is why I hardly have any indicators on. I use the EMAs just purely for confirmation on bias if we're looking to go up or down, and the RSI again the same thing. RSI and the indicators have nothing to do with my entry plan at all. This is why the method works in very well in the long run if you avoid using these indicators. But personally, I've developed this very well so that we don't have to rely on such indicators. It's just all sentiment and fundamental and technical analysis. So again, we're just looking for a push to the upside or a downside, but we're most likely at this upside range. This is between 66.776 to 66.344. Most likely we will push above here. Until then, we'll just have to stay patient. Moving on to AUD JPY. Here we actually broke out of our range, and now we are pushing in a direction. So I do believe that we are looking for potential shorts. However, this may not last that long. Just purely if it breaks above here, we'll be back up in an uptrend. But for now, as we're retracing, so we found that retracement and the pullback, we're just literally waiting for a push to the downside. And if we do find that, that would be great. We could start to see a short-term move to the downside, which we can capitalize on, because again, a short-term move is a possible trend. We take the trends. That's all we do. We do not involve ourselves in the consolidation ranges like the previous Japanese yen pairs on GA. Excuse me. If you do find that your pair that you're watching is in a consolidation pair, and you know that it is, I'd highly advise you to consider looking at other pairs, and don't just fixate yourself on just one pair. Try look at other pairs. This is only if your time frame entry is on a higher time frame like ours. But if you're on a lower time frame, say 15 minute, 10, 30 minute, then I'd highly stick to trading only just 5 pairs, because there's too much time, and you can actually lose out on trades if you just focusing too much attention on other different areas of the pairs. So just keep that into consideration. But because our trading method is long term, we have all these pairs to look at that we can check in on, and we do have a lot of opportunities when you look at it like that. But if your entry is on let's say a 30 minute, 1 hour, or 15 minute, then I'd highly consider just trading between 5 pairs that works, and make sure you're back testing as well, because that is the key difference between someone who understands their method and has that confidence, because the psychology will come into play. Are you battling with your fears? Are you battling with your greed or your emotions, because you're risking too much as well? So again, we all cover this in our paid group. So more information on that is in our on our Instagram, so go ahead and check all of that. But again, yeah, we're just looking for that pull back into this range. Sorry, I got a bit sidetracked. Pull back into this range, which we do have. We're now just waiting for a strong bearish momentum to the downside, and that will give us the confidence to get in and hold this trade for a long term. So the range that this is between is 68.821 to 68.315. So moving on to our last pair, as Euro CAD, we are looking to check in on this pair for our future, for our tomorrow's video, as this is potentially going to be on our on our watch list. We'll post this video tomorrow. So again, this pair here, US dollar, Swiss franc, is our last pair for our video. So we're looking at a push. As we can see, momentum is moving downwards, and we've got some push to the upside very vaguely. So what we can see here is we could be looking at a potential short, as we got the push to the downside. I want to see a bit more push of a move to the downside before we find that waiting of the pullback. If we do find that pullback, we want to wait for a rejection of some sort, and then we'll see a bearish momentum to the downside. If we do find that, we'll have the confidence to push further and further lower. Again, it's just waiting for the perfect time. And this range is between 0.96932 to 0.96671. So again, it's all about patience. It's not about ego trading. It's all about waiting for the precise moment and understanding your risk management. We all have a different risk tolerance. So in my strategy, this is my strategy that I use. So it's something, if you are to follow, you're going to have to understand my processes and why I'm so patient in the market, in the trading. And you'll see that exactly in the free group that we have in the Telegram group chat. For those that have got towards the end of this video, we do have a paid a paid service as well. We provide our full trades that we take on our own accounts, and we give you all our attention that you need from us. So any help that you want, all you'd have to do is just get in contact with us, and we can go through trading plans, trading goals, and review any of your concerns about trading. And again, we post a lot of educational videos as well to help you as much as we can. So if you are interested in that, make sure you drop us a message on our Instagram at KMTRADERS. I'm happy to help anyone with any trading question, even if you're not interested in trading with us in the paid group. We have the free paid group, and we have our YouTube videos and our Instagram as well, all disposable content for yourself. Just really trying to help as much as we can. So again, if you do have any questions, make sure you follow us on our Instagram, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and definitely check out that Telegram group chat for more information. So again, thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.